When's the last time you stood up and spoke out for increasing gay rights?
Right now.
Senator Santorum, would you be a voice for increasing gay rights in the party?
Surprised it's coming to me. What? What was your question?
Would you be a voice for speaking out for gay rights in your party? And if not, why not?
I would be a voice in speaking out for making sure that every person in America, gay or straight, is treated with respect and dignity and has the equality of opportunity. That does not mean that I would agree with certain things that the gay community would like to do to change laws with respect to marriage or respect to adoption and things like that. So you can be respectful. This is the beautiful thing about this country. James Madison called the First Amendment, he called it the perfect remedy. And that is, people of all different backgrounds, diversity, opinions, faith, can come into the public square and can be heard. And can be heard in a way that's respectful of everybody else. But just because you don't agree with someone's desire to change the law doesn't mean you don't like them or you hate them or you want to discriminate against them. But you're trying to promote promote things that you think are best for society. And I do so, and I think if you watch the town hall meetings that I've been doing all over New Hampshire, I do so in a respectful tone. I listen to the other side. I let them make their arguments, and then we do so in a very respectful way. And you know what? We may not agree. That's why we leave it open to the public to be able to elect members of Congress and the Senate and the President who support their ideas.
What if you had a son who came to you and said he was gay?
I would love him as much as I did the second before he said it. And I would try to do everything I can to be as good a father to him as possible.
Governor Perry, we're going to move on. Right to work, which outlaws mandatory union membership, as you know, continues to be a major issue in the state of New Hampshire. You've spoken about promoting having states pass state laws. What about on the federal level? Do you see this as a federal issue and one that you would promote as president? Or is it a state by state?
Actually, it is a federal issue, and it's a federal issue because of the law that was passed that forces the states to make the decision about whether or not they're going to be right to work. So Jim DeMint's legislation, I would support that, of repealing that legislation that forces states to make that a decision to be a right to work rather than all of this country being right to work. Listen, I'm not anti-union. I'm pro-job. And the way you promote this country's rehabilitation from the Obama administration's attack on job creation is by taxes and regulation, particularly the regulatory side, and pulling those regulations that have gone forward over the course of the last since '08 and test them all for, do they create jobs or do they kill jobs? And if they kill jobs, you throw them out. That will make more difference in this country from the standpoint. I'm a right-to-work guy. I come from a right-to-work state, and I will tell you, if New Hampshire wants to become the magnet for job creation in the Northeast, you pass that right-to-work legislation in this state.
I'd like to ask both Governor Romney quickly and Senator Santorum quickly, what positive contributions do labor unions provide in this country at this point in the 21st century?
Well, the Carpenters Union, for instance, trains their workers to be more effective on the job, and when they compete against non-union workers, why they do that on a fair basis. If that happens, that's a positive contribution. But let me just say this with regards to unions. I agree with Governor Perry. Right-to-work legislation makes a lot of sense for New Hampshire and for the nation. But also, let's not forget the government unions and the impact they're having. If we're going to finally pull back the extraordinary political power government unions are exerting in this country, we're going to have to say that people who work for the government workers, should have their compensation tied to that which exists in the private sector. People who are government servants, public servants, should not be paid more than the taxpayers who are caring for them.
Governor, can I just, very quickly, Senator, because we're about to hit a hard break, a quick comment on this?
Yeah, I will. I've signed a pledge that I would support a national right to work. When I was it was mentioned this last night, when I was a senator from Pennsylvania, I didn't vote for it because Pennsylvania is not a right-to-work state, and I didn't want to vote for a law that would change the law in Pennsylvania, number one. Number two, what can unions do? As Mitt mentioned, they can do training. They also do a lot in the community. I work with a lot of labor unions in Philadelphia and other places to do a lot of community involvement work, and they try to participate as good members of the community like a business does.
I got to cut you off. I apologize. We have a mandatory break. We'll be back with more questions in just a moment.